Is the AEW Jazwares line on its way out? I have a sick feeling in my stomach that says yes. I hope I'm wrong, but there are a couple reasons, 5 reasons if you will, as to why I'm worried about the future of the AEW figure line. Alright, so before I tell you the top 5 reasons why I'm concerned about the future of this line, I want to make 2 things very, very clear. Number 1, I support the AEW Jazwares line. I want it to succeed. I want it to continue. I want it to sell. I want it to grow. I love and admire it. I honestly do. Now here in LumberJillville, I review every single women's wrestling figure released, and I have since I started the channel 2.5 years ago, and some of those AEW women's figures ranks amongst the best I've ever reviewed. I mean, I chose the Jade Cargill to implement into my logo because she embodies what this channel is all about, so I got nothing but love for this line, and I want to see it succeed. I'm just really concerned, and that's what we'll talk about here. Now, the second thing I want to make clear is at the time of this recording, which is December 7th, 2022, there are no pre-orders up for any Unrivaled, any Unmatched figures, and there have been in months. The only figures you can get that are AEW-wise as pre-order goes are back orders of the Thunder Rosa and also the Excalibur. Now, also at the time of this recording, today actually, as Dynamite's airing, Ringside Collectibles is having a flash sale on all of their AEW figures, and they are dirt cheap, y'all. I just checked it out. They have some of them going for $4. And that's concerning that they're trying to clear out their inventory of AEW figures, right? So that's not in my top 5 because that just happened before I started recording, so that's definitely going to play into why I'm worried, right? Because that is concerning. But either way, the Thunder Rosa ringside exclusive, I did just get notification today that it shipped finally, because it was supposed to ship about a month ago, and it was delayed, but I'm just glad it's coming. But that's the problem and kind of the pattern that I see, and that has to do with the ringside exclusive AEW figures. Number 5, only exclusives have been released for months. So yeah, all we've got in the last couple months as far as new AEW figures are exclusives. And I'm talking a lot of exclusives. Not only did we have a first dance CM Punk, but we had Excalibur, JR, Tony Schiavone, we had Owen Hart's first figure in a long time, excellent. And we just had the Thunder Rosa that should be shipping out for most people, just shipped out for me today. But that's an issue I have, is that's all we've gotten are exclusives, ringside exclusives. There have been no main lines that have been put up for pre-order in a long time. Now, how long, you ask? Well, that leads me into number 4. Number 4, it has been months since we've seen any pre-orders for the AEW Unrivaled or Unmatched lines. Alright, so the last 2 main lines we have gotten from Ringside Collectibles at the time of this recording was AEW Unmatched Series 5 and AEW Unrivaled Series 11. Now, those pre-orders for those 2 series first went up over 3 months ago. So it's been over 3 months since we have gotten a new pre-order put up for an Unmatched or Unrivaled figure. That is crazy. Now, I did go to Ringside Collectibles Instagram to get some proof and get some numbers for this. So here's what I found. So AEW Unmatched Series 5. I ordered Red Velvet and also reviewed her on my channel. That pre-order was first posted on July 20th, 2022. Now, AEW Unrivaled Series 11, which I pre-ordered Penelope Ford and reviewed her on my channel, that pre-order first went up on September 3rd, 2022. Alright, so it's important to note that I did get that Red Velvet from Unmatched Series 5 and Penelope Ford from Unrivaled Series 11 around October 1st or 2nd. I know because that's when I posted my review. So it's been over 2 months since I've gotten a new AEW mainline figure. That is crazy. Number 3, Jeremy Padawer's lack of promotion on the AEW line. Alright, so Jeremy Padawer is the Chief Brand Officer over at Jazwares, and Jazwares is a rapidly growing toy company. They're involved with Squishmallows, which is huge, and also I believe the Fortnite toys and a lot of other properties. And Jeremy Padawer himself has been involved with wrestling figures in the past. He's the man responsible for the Jakks Classic Superstars line during the Ruthless Aggression toy era. So that man is responsible for a pretty awesome thing in the past with the wrestling figures. And when the AEW line first started, he was out there promoting it, talking about it, tweeting about it, really getting people excited. And then it all seemed to stop. I feel like he really does not talk about it as much anymore. and he doesn't push it or promote it or get people excited about it. In my opinion, he acts like he doesn't care about the AEW line. Maybe he doesn't. He is a businessman after all, and we got to remember that, y'all, because people in these positions of business, right, that's what they care about first and foremost. So if the Squishmallows line is blown up like it has, the Fortnite line is blown up, do you think he's going to give a crap about the AEW line? I get the vibes that he doesn't, and he's not, and that's a problem to me. And another problem I have is this tweet that he put up last year. Now, these are promises that he made to us. Promises. And I know a lot of people looked at these and they got excited. These would be great exclusives, right? Like great Ringside Collectibles exclusives. Now, would I personally order these? No, not my thing. But I know a lot of people that would and would love these. And not a single one of these came out in 2022, y'all. Not a single one of these came out. Now, he might have came out later and said, hey, it was a joke. Or other people might have been like, Aaron, he was joking when he put it. Then don't promise it. Don't promise it. It looks bad. It looks bad. It really kind of kicks dirt in the face of us wrestling figure collectors, right? When you make promises about something and you don't deliver, that to me takes away almost all credibility that you have as a person in power, you know? So that was a big disappointment when that tweet was posted. And a year goes by, we're at the end of 2022, and guess what? We didn't get a single one of those things, not a single one of those promises. So I would be curious, and I would absolutely love to talk to Jeremy Padawer and pick his brain about the AEW line and just see where it's at, where it stands, because I'm concerned. You know, I get the feeling that it's not a priority for him, and quite frankly, he doesn't really care about it anymore. Number 2, future lineups revealed way too prematurely. Also, is there an overall lack of star power in the lines? Alright, so at the last AEW Fan Fest, we got a lot of future lineup reveals for the AEW Unmatched and Unrivaled line. Not a whole lot of prototypes or sculpts or even a date as to when they're going to be released. Just a lot of the series and then the lineup of who's going to be included. We saw a lot. A little too much in my opinion, because here's the thing. When we haven't even gotten Unrivaled 12 in our hands, how am I supposed to get excited about Unrivaled freaking 16? When's that going to come out? 2024? You know what I mean? Like, how am I supposed to get excited? How are we supposed to get excited about that with all these stars that they showed in a lineup that's 6 series away? Half of them at least might not be in the company still. I mean, hell, William Regal. There's rumors right now that he's going back to WWE, leaving AEW. I think he's an Unrivaled 16 or something. Y'all, he might be done and retired from WWE and back into AEW by the time that figure even comes out. So, I mean, we'll see. But that's a common problem that I think a lot of these toy companies do, is they try to really pump people up, get them excited, say, hey, we're making this person, check out this sketch, check out this drawing. Okay, where's the figure? And then you end up waiting for a long time, a little too long. And I think that hype initially is peaked, and as people are waiting for months and months and months, and maybe over a year for a figure, that hype dies down, and then you feel like you're kind of getting robbed, right? So I think they really showed too many future lineups way too early. It'd be one thing if we were going to get all the way up to Unrivaled 16 by the end of 2022, but to have those lineups revealed, and God knows when we're going to get Unrivaled 16. We haven't even got Unrivaled 12 pre-order up, so who knows when we would get 16, but why would they show the lineups when who knows who's going to be in the company at the time, who knows who's going to be hot, who's going to be not. You know, it's just weird. It's really weird that they prematurely released all of those lineups to everybody. And let's talk about those lineups, because that's another issue that's kind of a second parter to this number here. And that's the lack of star power. Now, I by no means mean that in a disparaging way, because I think AEW has amazing talent, right? You know, me being a women's wrestling fan, they have an amazing women's division that just isn't used properly, but they have the talent there, but they don't, in my opinion, have that star power, that real deep star power, right? And here's an example, okay? Well, first off, we're getting more Santana and Ortiz figures, so what's that say? Y'all can go out and find their figures that have already been, they're out there still. I mean, it's, oh my gosh, at least in my area, so I can't believe we're getting more of them. But anyway, here's what I mean by that. So, I do not like Hulk Hogan. Terry Bollea, I think he's a scumbag. I think he's a real piece. As a person, as a human being, he sucks. I can't stand him. Really? I see a Hogan figure and I'm like, oh god, I gag. Like, I don't want him in my collection. I don't want him in LumberJillville. He's a piece of shit, right? I'll be honest. But he's a star. People buy his figure. They pre-order his figure. Whenever they release, they have reveals. They always have at least, 3 or 4 Hogans. And people are excited about it. And I'm happy for them, and that's great. But that made me realize why we get so many Hogans, because people buy them. People are going to buy up all of the Hogans. We get the Warrior, people are going to buy him up. There's a lot of names and stars. I mean, John Cena is one of them, believe it or not, that WWE can release, and people are going to buy him up and help the company keep rolling. And I don't know if AEW has that star power, or has, those superstars that have that nostalgic vibe, or have that toyeticness, or whatever you want to call it, and are hands down sellers. Maybe Sting, okay? I take that. Maybe Sting would be one of them. But if you look at the future lineups, which, I'm kind of having play here, dude, there's a lot of figures that anyone out there that goes figure hunting is going to look at these lineups and be like, oh boy, Butcher and the Blade, huh? They're going to be real hot sellers. We're getting a lot of talent that makes a lot of their AEW paycheck on AEW Dark, and I don't mean that in a disparaging way. Like I said, I think the booking over in AEW sucks, first off. But a lot of these stars aren't stars. They're wrestlers signed by the company, and I don't mean that in a disparaging way to them. Nothing to take away from the talent, but you want to have these stars, these superstars, these wrestlers that are on TV, that are on merchandise. You want to see them released in the figure line. People are going to recognize them and buy them. But, do you think people go out there and go, oh, Red Velvet, I see her all the time. She's wrestling all the time on AEW. And I love Red Velvet, by the way, but yeah, it's just that lack of TV time, lack of star power is concerning. And if you look at all the lineups they've revealed for the future, a lot of it is much of the same. A lot of the superstars we've already gotten multiple figures of that people just don't buy. How many Matt and Nick Jacksons are out there on the pegs right now, right? I mean, even Jericho, who's a big name, God, his figure's all over by me. And I think he's almost as big of a star as Sting is as far as his selling power. So, yeah, I just worry. I worry because I don't know if they have that star power. They don't really have those stars that are always going to sell. So what we're going to have is a lot of these figures clogging the pegs. And that goes into my last point here. Number one, these figures just aren't selling in stores. These figures just don't sell in stores. They don't. They sit there and collect dust. And maybe it's just in my area, but I think a lot of people kind of experience the same thing. Let me tell y'all, do you know how many Ty Contis I have? Or how many Chris Statlanders? Or how many Anna Jays I have? And the reasoning is, they were on the pegs for so long, I got them because I'm like, these are good figures, I'm buying them. And then I realized, no one's buying them. No one's buying the other figures in the series. It's not just the women. I know a lot of people are going to say, well, the women figures, they all peg warm. Well, hey, up yours, baby. Women's wrestling lives here. But there's plenty of figures that peg warm in the AEW line. I mean, the Frankie Kazarian, the Scorpio Sky, the Lance Archer. Oh, God, the Lance Archer. There's been 4 at my Targets. The only 4 AEW figures they've had for at least 6 months, right? And they just don't sell very well, And maybe it's that lack of star power, I guess, or lack of appeal. But they just don't sell. And that has nothing to do with the figures themselves, because the figures are great. I've said that. The quality is great. Some of those women's figures are the freaking best ever. But I challenge you to go to your local Walmart or Target and see what AEW figures are there, and go back in 3 or 4 months and tell me how many of those are still there, because it's going to be a lot of them. And that sucks, and it's sad. And they never go on clearance in my area. I know Target recently had a sale for $11.99. You get the AEW figures, but hey, they never go on sale in my area. So we have full price AEW figures on the pegs, and I mean, I think Unrivaled 8 is the last series that my area's got. Unmatched 3. Okay, the Dark Order series I think is last. So no one's buying them. They're not really going on clearance. I actually have multiple Walmarts near me, 2 or 3 now, that don't carry AEW figures anymore. They don't even have a peg for them. That's concerning. This line is still relatively new, 2 years or so? And there are some stores discontinuing carrying them. Dude, that is... Oh, that sucks. But yeah, that's one thing. It's okay. The hype of the chases has gotten people excited for the line, but it's almost false excitement because there's no hype beyond that. You know what I mean? And I know that sounds bad and it sounds negative, but I go to 2 Targets and I think 3 Walmarts, sometimes 4, multiple times a week because I drive pretty far for work. And I've had 0 fun looking at the AEW figures over the last 6 months. I found an Anna J chase, I did, and it was the best moment of my life as far as a collector goes. But I never find Jack anymore. And I'm there all hours of the time, all different times of the day. And it's all the same selection. And I'm not trying to complain because I'm happy for those that find chases. Like, that feeling was amazing. And I'm happy for those that find chases and find the new series. But at least in my area, they're just not moving. They're not moving at all. Like, no one is buying them. I mean, that's definitely a concern, and that's number one for me, because if those figures are never rotating out, they're not getting new ones in, what's the profit there? You know what I mean? Alright, so I apologize if I ranted a lot in this video. And I didn't mean for this video to be negative whatsoever, but here's the thing, I'm very passionate about my channel. I absolutely love women's wrestling figures. It truly is my passion, and the channel means a lot to me. And the AEW Jazwares women's figures are tremendous, and I would absolutely be devastated if the line was canceled. And there's just a lot of different factors floating around that are making me worried that I wanted to talk today about with you. And that's what I did today. So I was completely open, completely honest. Wanted to let you in on some things that were kind of bothering me and floating around, but more importantly, I want to hear what you think. I want to hear in the comments below if you're worried about the future of the lines, if you think they'll be just fine, you know, if you think maybe they're taking a break right now, or whatever it may be. I would love to hear y'all's opinions out there because, yo, I am worried and I want this line to continue. And it's frustrating because the next Unrivaled line, Unrivaled 12, is Jamie frickin' Hayter, and Unmatched Series 6 is Ruby frickin' Soho. Y'all, I am so ecstatic for those 2 figures. So freaking ecstatic. And the pre-orders just nowhere to be found. And again, this video was recorded on December 7th, 2022, so hopefully they're up by the time you see this video, and hopefully it's just a thing of the past, but I just wanted to make this video because there was a lot that's kind of been on my mind. I hope you enjoyed it. It's a different kind of video, but with that being said, I have the AEW Ringside exclusive Thunder Rosa coming out to LumberJillville this weekend, so look for that review probably Saturday or Sunday. But thanks for watching today. Let me know what you think in the comments about the AEW line and what you think the future is. But thanks for watching. Have a great night, y'all.